We'll get going here. Ellis, fire away with questions.
Did you say Ellis? Is that what happened?
I did say Ellis.
Okay.
Andrew Ellis.
Dave, I think I have a pretty good idea of who your starting pitchers will be, but would you like to announce that at this time?
Yeah, it'll be Gackle on Friday. Then we'll go with Dietz on Saturday and Fisher on Sunday.
Gotcha. Monday? Anybody there?
We're not going to announce
Okay.
that yet. We know who we're throwing, but we're not going to announce it.
Gotcha. Well, I
Yeah.
feel like we've asked you about Cahill defense a lot, and I'm sure at this point you're probably sick of talking about it. You just want to see him go out there and do a good job. When we talked to Hobbs the other day, he kind of made it seem like you're kind of prepared to take some lumps out there while he's figuring it out because he just got to get those reps. Going to a ballpark like Arlington, is there any like concern? Or are you kind of like watching through your fingers sometimes any fly ball out there? But what have those conversations been like with Cahill, getting him ready for that job?
Yeah, he had a rough Saturday and Sunday, and I wasn't here. Obviously, I got play by play, and I watched video of all the mistakes we made yesterday, fielding mistakes, and so yeah, to answer your question, but I'll say this before that. He just had a bad weekend. Monday he worked on his own. One of our professional players is still here, got with him, did some extra work yesterday, did a lot of extra work, and then we had a big defensive day yesterday with example like coach pitch. So basically balls are flying to the outfield, flying out of the park. He got a lot of work and he looked really good yesterday. So to me, it's a mental thing. It's a little nervous, a confidence thing, and a little bit of technique. And so worked on a few things. I feel like he got better. But to answer your question, yeah, the conversation has been, just you got to get better every day. You got to be really into playing defense and not thinking about hitting all the time. To stay on the field all the time. And if it becomes an issue, then there'll be a change, or they would be some adjustments made in game, where you have to put defenders in there late in the game, depending on the score. And uh, but this is normal when you have uh, position changes, or in this case, someone who'd never played out there until a year ago. So it did slow him down that he missed fall ball most of it with coming off of mono and then some other sickness. And now he's finally starting to get healthy. We just got to get him some reps.
Matt Jones, go ahead.
Sorry, you took me off guard there. Hey, Dave, just this weekend, what are you looking for from your team? I mean, what constitutes a good weekend for you on opening weekend?
Yeah, it's not always about wins. Wins are good. Winning makes everything better. But at the same time, um, just kind of figuring out where we're at with this type of competition we're going to play. We've had some really good days when I thought, man, we're pretty good. And then we've had some days when I've gone, man, we got a long way to go. So I just want to see us play hard, be consistent, and kind of show us what we really need to focus on going forward. And I mean, I'd say that's what I need to do. And then, I never finished Andrew's conversation. I will never watch a game looking through my fingers.
You said that one of your former players was here working with Cahill. Can you tell us who that was?
Yeah, Fletcher.
Okay.
He'll be a great coach one day. He's ate up with defense, and talking about him back in the past. I mean, he's probably one of the, as far as just running a 60-yard dash. Uh, he's not the fastest center fielder I've ever had, but he may be the best center fielder I've ever had. And it's all about technique, anticipation, and just reading the ball off the bat. And he's done this 2 and 3 years in a row. He's worked with our guys a little bit, and we ask him to. I've always said this around here. There's no ego around here. We just want to get better and we want to improve things. And he's getting ready to head out to spring training, but he did that for us a couple days in a row. Just took, Cahill asked him, and it was great.
When you've talked about Nolan the last couple of weeks, you've said, the arm is got to get there. When you say it's got to get there, is it arm strength? Is it accuracy? A combination of the two?
With who? Oh, with Souza?
With
Yeah.
Nolan Souza,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah. So, well, it's always going to be a little bit of both, but it's more the arm strength. When you're coming off of any type of surgery on your throwing arm, there's going to be some accuracy issues, so to speak, but really more about range of motion, arm strength, and then it's mentally letting it go. And what we've seen lately, and we've made a change, is because he's been freed up to do whatever. Is that, yeah, he'll long toss, but he's not letting it go. And you got to let it go. You got to throw hard, full of effort. Throw it as hard as you can, and start doing that a little bit because I think that he sees that he's behind. The frustrating thing is it took five weeks to have surgery when he hurt it, and that wasn't us. And so he's behind. We thought when he got hurt, we thought, okay, he can be ready. Well, he's close, but he's not 100% there yet. And it's and he may play in the field when he gets back because he's a really good defender and he's got a lot of range. But for now, you're probably looking at him, DH and or he could play, but I don't know if he's more ready than the other guys that are in front of him.
Hodge, go ahead.
Yeah, Dave, you just said it wasn't y'all that made the 5 weeks for him to have the surgery.
Who do you think it was? I'm not going to say it. Who do you
Okay.
think it was? It wasn't
Okay.
us.
Okay. Gotcha.
They all got to have the perfect guy do it. I get it, and we'll get him in. We're talking 5 weeks. It's a big difference when you're talking a short college season. Still frustrated, as you can tell.
You mentioned Fletcher working with some of your outfielders the last few years. Is that unique to him, or do you have your professional guys working with your current players pretty frequently?
Well, the way it works is we're not asking him to coach our players at all. It's just, they're out there, we're taking batting practice, and he's running down balls, and it's just amazing to watch him. And our guys gravitate to him, and they get to know him. Our pro guys are working out in the morning, so our guys are around him and get to see him and talk to him, and it's just great. It's great culture. But you know, Fletcher will watch a guy and say, "Yeah, man, that's not a good first step," or "Here's what I think could help you," and that's good, and that's what goes on at all programs. Pro guys are around, and if they want to volunteer some help, man, that's beautiful.
And the last one for me, Fisher being your Sunday guy, you hinted at it last week, kind of surprised some people. Kind of what kind of keyed him to being that guy for you?
Man, he earned it. And you're probably talking about Gibbler not getting in there. Gibbler's going to be in there, and you guys have mentioned it, maybe on the field talking to me. Yeah, it gives you a little bit of security knowing you got Gibbler in there at the first weekend because he's been that guy and he's been so dominant out of the pen for an inning or two and even longer. Not saying that he doesn't deserve to start, and we could hold him out and pitch him on Monday, but that doesn't make a lot of sense. He's so yeah, but I mean, Fisher did it again for like the fourth weekend in a row, where all he does is get people out and throw strikes, and we just feel like that he deserves a shot. It's not like Gibbler didn't do enough, but his best outing, Gibbler, was his last outing. I mean, he threw really good this past Friday.
Jackson, go ahead.
Hey Dave, following up on that, you guys, use your pitching staff maybe in a different way than other programs who let the starters just go, 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 and you guys can kind of fit and choose. How much does that go into setting a weekend rotation, wanting to have a guy like Gibbler in the bullpen? I mean, how much does the way you guys use your rotation affect your decision making there?
I'm sure in this case a little bit, maybe not a lot. We really like our relievers. Our relievers have flat out gotten us out this side of Christmas. Let's just put it that way. And it's I mean, and there's a lot of them. We feel really confident about our bullpen because we can come at you with left and right and a lot of velocity. It's good secondary pitches. Now, who knows? It might not happen this weekend, but we know it's in there. And we know we're going to pitch some guys this weekend. We're going to pitch a lot of people this weekend, especially when you throw in the Monday game. So, yeah, the starter's the starter, but realistically, the games are won on the back end. And, if you can hold people down there, that's great for the team.
With a positive on Cahill, he's going back to a place this weekend where he, kind of asserted himself last year. What do you remember about that weekend with him kind of breaking through with the two big hits? And was it a revelation to you, a surprise at all? I mean, what do you remember about Cahill's breakthrough in Arlington?
Yeah, what I remember is that we played the opening weekend and he didn't start, but he got in there and swung the bat really well. And then bringing him off the bench to pinch hit against a lefty, and then they pulled the lefty, and I just told him you're staying in to hit because I could have gone back with a left-handed hitter, or excuse me, a different hitter. Yeah, left-handed hitter, and I just felt like, hey, he swung the bat good, no reason to waste it. Let him do it. And I know the first pitch he saw, he unloaded on it and just missed a home run. It was an absolute rocket off the wall that either tied it up or gave us the lead. I don't remember. And we ended up winning that game 2-1, 3-2. And he never came out of the lineup. I mean, he just basically just said, it doesn't matter. I can hit both right and left-handed pitching. And he was our hottest hitter for the first 45 days of the season and put up major numbers. And it's like every time he stepped in the plate, you expect him to hit a double or a homer and drive in a run or two. And, that's what I remember most about, him down there.
We've seen Micah and Nolan kind of be the two leadoff guys in scrimmages and the build up to the season. What are the differences between them in that spot? What are you internally debating with who you go at that top of the lineup?
Yeah, obviously when it's left, when it's right, it could make a difference whoever starts, and we pretty much know the rotation that's coming at us. But um, I feel like Souza can hit lefties. I don't have a problem with that. Robinette can hit lefties, and he stays on them really well. So I don't know. Probably looking at going Souza lead off. They both can steal a base and both hit the ball over your head, and they both have pretty good eye. So we'll see how it goes. Tom, go ahead.
Hey, Dave, you talked about working on defense real hard, but also some infield stuff. Can you maybe talk about things you saw from the weekend from the infield and all over on defense?
Yeah, I watched video of all the plays that weren't made, or a couple of plays that should have been made or could have been made, but I didn't like the way they attacked the ball. The ball up the middle, slide into the ball, just play through the ball, run through the ball and field it. Stuff like that, backhand play where, somebody gives on the ball instead of going to the ball. That's the way I teach the backhand, and ball gets into left field, but, at a minimum, ball should stay in the infield. But what we did yesterday, we broke it down a little bit, and we did infield work at the end of practice. When what I told them is, seventh, eighth, ninth inning, and be a little tired. We got to be able to play, and so we did it at the very end. A lot of times you do defense at the beginning before you hit, stuff like that. But just broke it down, did some drill work, kind of went back to spring training, so to speak, and then we did ground ball work and throwing, and we probably had our best day of the year fielding the ball for that 25 minutes yesterday. And it's really good to see. I tell the guys, you're really good. It's all about technique and your feet. And if you'll just move and trust your ability instead of worrying about things, you'll field the ball. And we did a good job with it.
What did you see from Peyton Lee's outing? And was that encouraging for what his role would be?
Yeah, Peyton was really good. And again, I watched it on video, most of it. And you take away that last inning, he was nails, and he's going through the more experienced guys, so to speak. And really impressive. We've got some good freshman arms in here, and they're going to get to pitch this year, and they deserve it because they proved it against us. And I feel like if you can get our lineup out, then you can get out a lot of really good lineups in the country. And but what I saw was a guy that throws strikes, and he mixes and matches, and he's got good enough velocity to sneak it by you, but he's got a really good changeup and a good slider. And I like his demeanor on the mound.
You guys seem to dodge a bullet with Helfrich taking one off the forearm. How has he responded to that over the weekend?
Yeah, he seems to be fine. We were talking about it yesterday that the coach didn't even call me and tell me because I'm kind of getting updates, and they probably just didn't want to scare me. But Helfrich, it's hard to hurt that guy. He's kind of pretty strong, pretty tough, and but he's good. But yeah, anytime you take a fastball off the forearm. It can be spooky. Obviously, if it gets into the hand area, it gets really, really spooky.
We have an idea what the lineup will look like. Do you think the weekend maybe solidified thoughts that you had about that after Souza?
Yeah, I think so. I thought Souza, I mean, when I put my eyes on him on Friday live, it was some really good at bats and a couple of two-strike hits, hitting lefties, righties, and they felt like it continued on. So and a couple other spots. I mean, left field still flip a coin, honestly, and but they're all going to get their time throughout the season. I always tell the guys it's lineup changes from opening day, believe me, and don't take it personal if you don't start or if you don't play too much first weekend. There's a lot of games.
Thanks, man.
Matt Grissom, you got one? All right, Hutch.
Yeah, Dave, that fourth game you're playing down there, how big is that for your freshman pitchers who, are getting to pitch in, a good environment, weather-wise, and then also, a big stage and everything, for their, first taste of college baseball?
Yeah, I think it's a great situation, and when we had that opportunity, we jumped on it, and we'll probably try to do that as much as we can if when we're playing down there. You never know how the weather's going to be. You're already there. You have a chance to play in just a great facility, and then it gives us a little extra time to maybe get ready for the weekend with even the guys that throw Monday. They'd be available for late in the weekend. So I think it's a win-win. I think there's two other games that day now too. After us, I think we're playing it. Well, I think we're moving our game up a little bit. I'm not sure. I haven't even looked that far down. We were supposed to play at 2, and last time I talked to Clay Goodwin, our ops guy, he said they maybe want to play at 12. I said that'd be beautiful. So I think that's the deal. But the other teams are doing the same thing.
I had one more about Fisher. He was so good as a freshman before he got hurt. I'm wondering, last year, he had I guess, the internal brace procedure. How much of coming back from that maybe impacted him last year? And could you tell this fall and, this preseason that he's, fully back from that?
Oh yeah, the first year, kind of feeling his way through. As a freshman, you saw great command. He didn't have the great command last year as much like he did, and so that has to do with the injury and getting it fixed, obviously. And then now the command is back and the velocity's up. Stuff is better. Really more of a 4-pitch mix now, and maybe 3-pitch before, and so it's been really good. And I love the way he competes on the mound. He's got a pretty good pickoff move. He holds runners well. He fields his position well, and he I feel like he deserves a chance to go out there.
That was Matt Jones. Anything else to add?
Yeah, Dave, I feel like TCU's kind of the team that everyone has circled because they're a top 10 opponent, and there'll probably be a good crowd there for Saturday. But Oklahoma State seems like they're pretty physical, they're pretty talented as well, and they always have at least a good semblance of a lineup there. What have you seen from all three of these teams? Doesn't seem like Texas Tech is maybe quite as talented as years past, but do these teams kind of remind you of some of these other opponents that you faced in Globe Life before?
Yeah, I mean, Oklahoma State, obviously, that's who our focus is on, and they're very physical. They're outfield. They've got some power there and athletes. And, the starting lefty they're throwing against is, I mean, if it hadn't been for the injury, who knows what he'd been doing. So he's a year or two out, year and a half out from Tommy John or whatever it was. And, we're reading all kinds of great things about him. It's going to be a great matchup, and it's the first game of the year. You never know how it's going to go, nerves or just guys just trying too hard. So it's it's going to be a great tournament. I don't think that we really circle anybody in anything right now. It's just one day at a time, and try to get better before we open conference against Mississippi State here. And we got about 4 or 5 weeks before we do that. So Oklahoma State, respect Josh and his program. We've had some knockdown dragouts with those guys. I think a couple of years ago, we lost in extra innings. Then one year we got after them pretty good. I think they've got after us pretty good. So really it's just a good way to start the season with a really good opponent.
All right, Coach. Thanks for your time.
Okay, guys. We'll see you.